All right, Mr. Beck, you're here for your 1:30.
Yes.
All right, I'm getting your probation violation. You're a probation violation officer here, and then we'll call your case, okay?
Yes, I'll patiently wait, Your Honor.
All right. On the record in docket 22-00519, that's people of the state of Michigan versus Brian Miller. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Whiskey on behalf of
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender on behalf of Mr. Miller.
And sir, you are Brian Keith Miller?
Yes, sir.
All right. This is the time set for a probation violation set today. Mr. Wisty or Ms. Robinson, what is your understanding of how we're proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe it's for not reporting for a few times in probation. And so Mr. Miller will be pleading guilty to those violations.
All right. And that's your understanding, Mr. Miller?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to bring your attention back to the request and summons for probation violation. It was issued, was asked for by August 30th, 2022, and it was issued by myself on August 31st, 2022, that you had violated probation. And these are the terms of your probation that it was indicated that you violated. You understand you have a right to hearing concerning these probation violations?
Yes, sir.
You, of course, are represented by Public Defender Aaron Robinson. She would contest any charges or cross-examine any witnesses concerning the violation of probation. You're willing to waive those rights and plead to the violations as reported and the request and summons for probation violation. Is that correct, sir? I'm going to have you raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, sir.
All right. It is alleged that you failed to review probation orders on August 23rd, 2022 at 1:30, August 24th, 2022 at 4 o'clock, and August 30th, 2022 at 8:30. How do you plead to that probation violation? All right. It is indicated that you failed to appear in person to 54A District Court Probation Department to review probation orders, the final appointment that was scheduled. Do you admit to that responsibility to that probation violation?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Clean
I
shave.
find the admission to the probation violation be knowing, accurately indicated, and I do have a violation recommendation. Ms. Robinson, have you had the opportunity to see that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Any comments on the probation violation recommendation?
Your Honor, we would just ask that you give Mr. Miller here a verbal warning and allow him to remain on probation. He has been working 10 to 12-hour shifts at the factory. And so it's been hard for him to kind of keep track and everything. I have reminded Mr. Miller about how it's very important for him to keep in touch and in track with probation. And I think he's understanding that now, as he did appear for probation earlier today and met with them, as well as he has an appointment after this at 3:30. So I think by the fact that he has done that prior to today's hearing, I think that we should give him another shot at being able to complete probation, Your Honor.
All right, I have a report by your probation officer. This is the first probation violation, but you understand, I think you understand, Mr. Miller, how important the court takes this, right? I mean, the last thing you want to do is to be here on a 1:30 afternoon on a Monday, right? Okay, I understand that. Understand that the more you show up, the less options I have. Today's option is, at the request of your probation officer, is to continue probation. All right, and I think that's fair. This is your first chance and last chance warning, so to speak. All right, you're working, you're doing everything you should do. My approach here is to help you get through this. All right, and to make sure that you get through this so that you can put this behind you, and hopefully you'll be better at avoiding this type of conduct next time, right? Right. Because if we don't learn from it, then we're just doing the same thing over and over again. And I'm a nice looking guy, but I'm not that nice looking. You don't want to see me all these times, right? All right. So I'm gonna continue probation. Probation originally was set for, in this matter, I have probation is 6 months probation. By Zoom, 10 months probation by Zoom reporting was the initial. You've got $625 as a term of probation for collections purposes, but for your purposes, do whatever Mr. Ledesma tells you. Do you have any questions for me? I mean, you look a little confused, and so I just want to make sure there's no ambiguity.
I'm just making sure I'm hearing you correct.
Okay, just make sure whatever Mr. Ledesma tells you, you get it, you take care of it. All right. And you know how we have a tendency to prioritize things. Like, I'm not going to mow the lawn today, or I'm not going to do that today because I don't need to do that today. This is now a priority. This is top 3 priorities on your list to get things done. Because if you take away options, my priority list is, all right, I have to use the last option, which is to incarcerate you, and I don't want to do that. Okay, you don't want me to do that, and I don't want to do it. Okay, so let's on one level, let's just keep you on probation, keep you talking to Mr. Ledesma, keep lines of communication open, and we'll go from there. Okay. All right. Any questions today, Mr. Ledesma? Any questions?
Yes, Your Honor. We would just want clarification that he had admitted or pled guilty to 2 separate technical probation violations.
He did. Yeah, there were 2. I treated them as 2 separate technical violations. They failed to report and they failed to appear. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So keep the lines of communication open, and hopefully we don't see each other, right?
All right.
All right. That's all for the record in this file. Docket 220519. You're all set. Make notes. Kill myself on that. Mr. Abbott, his lawyers indicated has failed to appear. Mr. Witsi, how would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, the people would request a bench warrant here.
Your Honor, if I could give Mr. Kelly some time to appear. He was just in court last week on a new case. It seems like he knows where we are. I have an explanation. I don't have an explanation. The court could give me 48 hours to bring him in.
I don't have any objection to a 48-hour hold. So if you bring him for sentencing within 48 hours, I'll withdraw the bench warrant, or we'll hold it for 48 hours. I have it sentenced for sentencing. I have no failed to appears. I have pled. He showed up at a pretrial on the adjournment, and then he came. So this is his first fail to appear. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt on that,
Great, thank you.
So this is a bench warrant bond forfeiture, but I'll hold it for 48 hours.
Thank you.
Anything else for the record, Mr. Witsi?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Mr. Abbott?
Well, thank you.
All right. That's all for the record in this file. Still got Mr.
So it's like this always. They turned me off in this case.
Mr. Beck, Mr. Wisty, the assistant prosecutors had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Hannah, your probation violation officer. Would you
Yes,
like to
sir.
speak with Mr. Wisty in a breakout room?
Yes, that would be fine.
All right, so I'm gonna have yourself and Mr. Wisty placed in a breakout room, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So as soon as you log on.
Oh. Sending me to a breakout room. Meet with the lawyer. How do I log out?
Mr. Beck, we're gonna place you and Mr. Wisty and your Mr. Hannah in a breakout room, okay?
Yes.
I don't even think he has to go in. I think they might do it over Zoom. He just has to complete some. That's the only one. Thanks, Jacob.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. After this is over, I can run you over, I guess. I'll punch out for lunch. Hey. When this is over, I guess I can run you over tonight, and I'll punch out for lunch.
All right, do that then.
Yeah, so. Deborah may, I don't know, she'll be pulling in anytime, so we'll
Oh,
just,
she coming in tonight?
yeah, we'll just pull, we'll take all your stuff out at once, hop
All right, we're gonna go on the record in docket 21-02913. That's people of the state of Michigan versus David Beck. Mr. Wisty, your appearance for the record.
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
And sir, you are David Beck. You'll have to unmute yourself, sir.
There we go. Yes, I am, Your Honor. I am David Beck.
All right, you had the opportunity to speak with Brendan Hanna and Jake Wisty in a breakout room.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and so you understand today that we're resetting this hearing for November 14th at 1:30?
November 14th, 1:30. I do now. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and that'll be a live hearing for obvious purposes, okay?
Yes, sir. I completely understand.
All right. Anything else for the file and for the record in 21-02913, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, and you have that date, November 14th at 1:30?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Beck, we'll see you on that date, November 14th at 1:30, okay, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. That's all for the record in that file.
Can I leave?
So we're on the record in docket 22-00368. People of the state of Michigan versus Darius Horn. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender on behalf of Mr. Horn.
And sir, you are Darius Horn?
Correct.
Okay. This is the time set for a violation of probation. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding today?
I understand there have been some negotiations between probation and the defendant and his counsel. I would defer to them how they'd like to proceed this morning.
All right, Ms. Robinson?
Yes, Your Honor, we've reached an agreement. Mr. Horn is going to be pleading guilty to the probation violations. I'm not sure what the numbers are, but everything except for the not completing the Betters Interventions Program, that one will be dismissed.
Okay. And Mr. Wisty and Mr. Ledesma, that's your understanding?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right. So may I inquire of your client, Ms. Robinson?
You may.
Mr. Horn, you understand that this time set for a probation violation on a request and summons for probation violation, which was asked for on August 10th, 2022 by your probation officer, was signed by myself on August 11th, 2022. You understand that you were placed on probation and an admission today would be an indication that you violated probation.
Yes.
All right. And you understand that you have a right to a hearing today. You are represented by Aaron Robinson from the Public Defender's Office. If we had a hearing, she would be available to contest any charges and cross-examine any witnesses brought against you. It's my understanding you wish to waive that right and to plead guilty to all except one of the probation violations.
Correct.
All right. I'm going to have you raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
All right. Mr. Horn, there's an indication that in one of the violations, would be a technical violation, that you consume marijuana while on probation pursuant to a positive test on August 1st, 2022. How do you respond to that violation?
Guilty.
Thank you. It would indicate that, which is the one that it's the alcohol assessment he is not pleading guilty to, right?
No,
It's
it's,
the pats.
yeah, he's pleading guilty to everything except for the Betters Intervention.
Okay, so we'll skip the batters intervention, which is the second, it's violation 17. But we'll go to violation 14, which was the second violation, that you tested positive for alcohol on May 12, 2022. And that was a positive that was a positive test, and it was confirmed by the testing agency. How do you plead that? Guilty or responsible? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And then that also a part of that violation is that you used marijuana while on probation on August 17, 2022. How do you plead to that? Okay. With a guilty or an acceptance of responsibility in violation of probation, to those 3 probation violations, I'll dismiss the domestic violence batters intervention program. And have you added the opportunity? So I find the admission of probation violations to be knowing, voluntarily, and accurately made. Have you had the opportunity to see the probation violation recommendation?
I have.
Okay, any statement on that, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor, we would just ask that you allow Mr. Horn to continue with probation. I did speak to Mr. Ledesma. He is not going to be recommending jail at this time. Mr. Horn has since received his medical marijuana card. And so I believe that using the marijuana prior to that while being a violation of probation was related to his medicinal use purposes. Further, he has since enrolled in PATS and is working on making sure that he is completing and doing probation. He understands, that he tested positive for alcohol once. That was a one-time thing, and he's not going to be doing it again. So we would request that you allow Mr. Horn to remain on probation and allow him to keep his special status, which keeps this case non-public
Well, thank you.
No problem.
Yeah. I think I've started putting some probation stuff in the afternoon, just because it means that like at 11:30, we're not trying to finish up the morning docket, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, just seems to make a little bit more sense.
That's fine. I'm here all day.
Yeah. So am I. Here till the files stop coming. You don't think somebody who's really, actually,